Hello everyone, welcome once again for our third video in Python for penetration testing. Today we'll start learning with an important topic on object-oriented programming. So in Python, in most of the programming and scripting language, we have this object-oriented programming language. What's an importance we have in here with object-oriented programming language? Why we need object-oriented programming language? Instead of going on with your normal programming script, we will be using lots of object in real-time scenarios. So that's why we use object-oriented programming to make it more manageable. It is a concept that it is easy to manage the whole program, where you have thousands of lines of codes where you have to manage. There is no God class. You can make your own classes. Okay, so I will be explaining what is the class first and what is an object, then we'll make simple class, then we'll go on with inheritance in object-oriented programming. So I'm not going to explain all the OOP in the full stretch, so I'll be explaining very basic stuff that will be very easy for us to go on when we script our development of penetration testing tools. Okay, so what is an object? Everything is an object. We have a pen, we have a PC, we have a car, everything is an object. We have a home, so everything comes under object. Everything is an object. You can assign, like for a penetration tester, what can be an object? A device, an IP address, a device type, hub, switch, or anything. It can be an object, right? And what is a class? Class is nothing but a blueprint for your object. Okay, so you will be designing a blueprint and you will assign values for that blueprint. For example, if you have taken a device, and what device it is, and device type, and device manufacturer, and IP address, and where that device belongs to department, is it belongs to the ethical cybersecurity team, or the development team, or sales team, like that. So we can verify, you can assign properties for a object. Okay, so every object have some properties, every object have some methods. Okay, so you can go for get method, and you can go for set method. Lots of methods are there. We will be seeing lots of things in the upcoming session, and we have these properties that belongs to object, and class is the one that defines a proper order for those objects. Okay, like a blueprint, we will be setting up the class first, and with that class we will be setting all the values for each properties in an object. Okay, and then we'll go with inheritance, and we'll try to make simple classes and all. So let me start with simple class, and let's start how we do making a simple class in here. Okay, and let me open my PyCharm. That's what we do. Okay, so let me create a new file in here, and the file name should be, and I'm just making it as OOP. Okay, and okay, so in here, first of all, what we do create main, right? So just tab and call this main function. Don't forget to do that, and I'll create a class in here. So how your class will look like? So simple class, and I'll assign it like victim, for example, as a penetration tester. So let me create in this way, victim. Okay, and then what I'll do define, and I'm going to create a blueprint now. Define device. Okay, and before going on with device, you have certain methodologies and it's a blueprint, right? So you have to maintain that template that you need to do within here in Python. So I will be like setting up device. Okay, set device, and everything we need to mention self. So automatically you need to mention self. You don't have to, even you just mention your set device type, and if you press tab, automatically self will come. Self implies that it belongs to this particular class. Okay, within this class the self will work, and you are going to introduce a value variable for that. So how I can do that? I can do in this way. So not price, and set device, what device type it is, and device. Okay, device, and in here click enter, then self okay, self, then dot underscore, then your device equal then your device. Okay, this is the way you create blueprint for a class. Okay, I can make in this way. Next, define, I need to get device. Why? If I want to, I can set up a device. If I need to, I can set up a device. If I want to extract the device information, then I need this for extracting, right, for outputting. That's why I use this get device. And in here the same self, you don't need to get device self, and you don't need to mention the device type. Again, you'll be assigning values for this in main function, and you don't need to mention the device name in here again, and enter, and you need to return the value. Okay, so self dot, okay, then device. Okay, so that's it, it is done. You have just created a simple blueprint to setting up the device. And this dot device, what is this? It is a variable in Python. In class, this is how you define your new variable. Then you are defining a new variable in this self class with this value. Okay, that's what you did in here with this class. Okay, I will just copy this all for multiple values and all. Okay, so I'll just click enter, paste it, click enter, paste it, and click enter. Okay, so I think I've created 1 2 3 4 times. Okay, so in here I just need to change the name. Instead of set device, I need to change type. Okay, so in here type, and type, and this one IP, type. Okay, now in here IP, 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 IP. Okay, in here department, okay, so we just made all the class blueprint is already. Now I'm going to get into main class. So how I will do, define main, it's what we do right normally. And in here what I'm going to do, I just need to create a new main class to call up that class. Okay, main function to call up that class. So how I'll do, I'll just go on with my victim. Okay, I will call this victim, and the victim's class. Okay, so I'm just calling that victim. And what I'll do in here, I'll just go on with my victim and dot set. So you can see this set department. If I just press set, and you can see lots of methods that you can do: get IP, get type, get method, set IP, set type, everything, because we assigned all these things in here. So if I just want to go on with first set device, this is a set device, right? So I just set device, and what I need to set it in here, and device is a router. Okay, and I'll just set in this way, and I need to put it in double quotes because it's a string, right? Okay, and next my victim dot set type. Okay, so this one I'm just typing wireless. Okay, and in here again my victim dot set IP. So I'm just giving it as in string, and we can go on with the decimal characters or the float values because it comes with dot, right? So depends on your project, you can assign. I'm just giving string in here now, so just 192.168.0.1. okay, and then I'll go in here again my victim and dot set device department, and in here I'll just give sales. Okay, so this is how you define values into it. In case if you want to output some values, to want to get some values, how you can do that, I can give in this way. So what I'll do, I just need to assign variable in here for that also. So I'll just go on with device equal my victim dot get device get IP, for example. So get IP self. Okay, so this is how we made we assign get IP for a particular class which belongs to my victim, and that victim belongs to this class, and this victim class is in here. Okay, so it will go in, when I just do run the program, it will check in here. And how it will check, one second, let me continue and finish this. Print, and I can the victim IP is dot format device. Okay, so this is how we do our code, and let me go in here. Okay, so whenever I run this code, it will go in here in this print function, and it will check it out. Okay, device, and it will go in here, and it will call this get IP method, and it will go in this way, and where this get IP is there, and it will go there, and it will get it out. So if I just go on in here, okay, it's actually not get department, it is set department. Okay, one second. Okay, and in this way, and I can my victim dot get IP. Okay, all done. Yeah, and let's run this. I hope I didn't make any mistake in here. Let's check it out. Can you see this? The victim IP is 192.168.0.1. so this way you can easily assign objects with a class is a blueprint. So you can make your blueprint, and you can assign values into it, and you can call it whenever you want in your program, and you can do multiple lines of code with ease by easy management, and that way we have that facility with object oriented programming. Okay, so it's very simple to do that, and I hope everyone understand this, and then we'll move on to inheritance. So what is inheritance? Let me create a new file for that, because it's good to create new files and people can understand easily with the same file name. Okay, so okay, sorry for that, I just made a normal file. I need to make a Python file, new Python file, inheritance. Okay, so how we can do this inheritance? Inheritance is very easy, where you can see in our previous object oriented programming, we have just introduced a class and we made this thing, and you can make multiple classes also. You can make, instead of class, you can make class victim 1. Okay, in this way you can make multiple class. But what if victim 1 and victim both are in the same router and they are holding different IPs, but you need to share the information of your device, like router and gateway IP, everything is same, but little bit of information is different. So at that time you need to add several classes properties from the previous class to the new class. So how we can do that? That's why we need inheritance. We are going to inherit previous class properties to the new class, so that's why we have this inheritance. Okay, so when we have the inheritance, just make a class for operations, simple one. It will be very easy for understand. Okay, class operations, enter, and I'll just define in here and sum. Okay, and I'll just make self, and I need two variables. So I'm just creating a class for adding up of two numbers, so n1 n2. It's very basic one, so that we can easily understand how inheritance work. Okay, return, and how it will return with function n1 plus n2. Okay, so this is how our return functionality work. And then what I'll do, I'll define another function for subtraction. Okay, so in subtraction, the same one, n1 and n2. In return, what I'll do, it will do n1 minus n2. Okay, so this is what my first class is, and I'm going to create another class in here, class multi operations. Okay, malop, and I'm going to define in here multiplication, the same one, self, n1 comma n2, and it will return by n1 multiplied by n2. Okay, so this is how the normal, so this is how your normal operations work. And when I call this function, I need this also with multiple operations. Okay, not only multiplication, I need this also. So at that time, what I can do, I'll just simply go in here with this, and I'll just go on operations. Operations. Okay, so now what happened, this operations class is inherited with this class. Okay, so this is how we do inherit one class into another one. So what will happen if I call this function, multiple operations functions in my main class, that will automatically call this operations class also. Okay, so let's do main. Okay, and then define main. Okay, now I can do calling up for that function by and multiple operations, right? So m malop equaled operations. Okay, in this way. Next I'll do print, and in this way result equaled dot format, and I'll just add the multiple operations functions or sum format, and in this one, or I can go on, don't need to go on in this way. I'll just go result equal and multiple operations malop dot sum. I'll just need to give the variable in here. I'll just give 2, 3. See, I'm just calling up this class, but I'm mentioning this functionality. Let's check it out, it is working properly in here or not. Okay, done everything. Let's run this one and check it out, it's working properly or not. Syntax error, I think I'm missing something. Okay, I'm missing something in here. malop okay, let me try with multiplication. If it works properly, maybe I have to check the code once again. Okay, it is creating the same problem. Let me check it. Okay, I think now it will work. One second. Okay. Let me check it now. Operations object has no attribute. Okay, sorry, I think I should go in this way. Okay, I made a mistake in here. I've missed a comma, and now let's check now. Okay, same mistake. Okay, I've just made a simple changes into my code, and I just removed two unwanted thing in here. I've misplaced underscore in here. I've just removed it, and everything is good, and now it is working properly. And you can see this, I've just called this class with sum function, and this class is only having multiplication, but this class is already inherited with operation. So it just go back in here, and it called this defining of sum, and it did its work properly, and it gave me the result is 5. Okay, so this is how we do inherit one class into another class instead of setting up in this way. So instead of setting up in this way, you can simplify your code, and you can, instead of giving up in this way, I've just removed this 2 and I just inherited one class into another. And this is how we can simplify your code, and you can minimize your lines of code with the help of inheritance, and you can call up one class into another. Okay, so that's what we call it as inheritance. And now we'll move on towards our next topic, conditions. So the next topic we have in here is conditions. What are the conditions first? When we have a block of codes, multiple block of codes, we need to be work with and conditions in some scenarios. So what are the conditions? The conditions can be relied on any projects that you work on. For example, for us, a penetration testers, if you want to develop a tool that particularly for scanning a port, for example, if you have FTP port 21 open, if the port is open, you need your results, yes, the port is open. If the port is not open, you need your output as no, it's not open, like that. So exactly, that's why we use these conditions. We have totally 4 conditions, very simple: if and else. You just need to remember this. If is a true statement, else is a wrong one. If your condition supports the condition that you have set, if the code supports that your condition you set, then it will proceed with that block. Otherwise, it will skip to the else function. Okay, so else condition, sorry, and that's what we're going to do. So we'll see what is if, else, else if, and nested if one by one with our code. So let me open. In here I have PyCharm. Okay, so we have in PyCharm, let me create a new file in here with PyCharm, and in here I'll just rename it conditions. Simple. And in conditions, I'll just make a simple age for input file with age. So I will be making some printing functions and with various ages. Okay, so in here I'll just go on with age equal input. Okay, and enter your age, please. Okay, so that's what you are asking with your client or the user. And if the user entered the age is greater than 18, okay, greater than or equal to 18, then he is allowed. That means you can say like you're allowed in here. Okay, so this is how we make the code in here. So if a user is greater than or equal to age of 18, he is allowed. If the user is greater than 18, it's also they're also allowed. You can add in this format with multiple if statements. Okay, you also allowed. Okay, but one thing you need to remember in here is the indentation block. This if condition holds this whole block. If you mention this print in here, that will calculate as the print belongs to the whole program, not with this if block. Okay, so you always should not forget to add the indent space in the front. Okay, just need to press tab, or if you just press enter in this place, it will automatically add your stuff in here. Okay, space in here. Okay, so this is how you can do. This is what if statement is there. So if I just right click it and run the program, let's see what happens. And it is asking me enter your age please. So if I just entered 19, you're allowed in here, you're also allowed. See, I've mentioned two if statements, and that's why it is printing two results. I don't want this one now. I just need only one result. If I'm over than 18, it will ask me to allow, otherwise it will kick me out. So at that time, what you need to do, you need to add else statement in here. So how you will add else? Else if your age is less than 18, okay, then you need to print sorry, you're not allowed. Okay, so in this way you need to mention in here. Okay, so I can remove this now. We don't need this anymore. This is how if and else works. Okay, where we need if and else? When you have if condition works when you have multiple options. Okay, if he is greater than this age, if he is greater than this age, that time we'll use if. Else works if you have the negative answer. When you receive the negative answer from the user, that time else will execute. Okay, so let me check it now. Run the condition. Okay, I think I missed something. I think everything is good. Okay, sorry. I need to mention in this way, else print, that's it. Okay, so I just need to go in this way. Let me check it, run it now. We don't need age conditions there, and run the condition now. Enter your age please. If I press enter, you are allowed in here. Okay, let me rerun this now and let me check what happens. If I give the age which is lower than that, if I give age which is 10, sorry, you're not allowed. So this is how your if and else condition works. Then what is else if? Okay, I've added multiple ifs, right? We'll be using this else if now. If the age is more than 18, they are allowed in here, right? If I add elif is also the same condition. Elif if your age, if what I did in here, I've just changed the condition little bit, and instead of greater than or equal, I've just mentioned equal. Okay, now let me check and run the condition in here, and invalid syntax. Yeah, sorry, I've missed one more equal symbol. Now run conditions, and if my age is 18, it'll ask me you all are in here, right? If my age is 60, you're most welcome, senior citizens, right? And if I mention any other age which is not 18, it will return me an error, sorry, you're not allowed. Okay, so if I just mention 10, sorry, you're not allowed, like this. So this is how we add if, else if, or else. Okay, so if your condition is equal to 18, then you are allowed to print this. And if the condition, else if, even if it is not this one, if it doesn't meet the criteria of this condition but it meets this one, then it will return this value. Previously I have mentioned greater than equal to, so it matched two conditions, this also, this also. This condition will work. Else if, else means if it doesn't meet this condition but it meets this condition, then only it will execute this print. And if it doesn't meet both the conditions in the previous sessions, then it will print this else condition. Okay, so this is how our condition if, else if, and else work. What if we have added another if along with this? Okay, so if the input age is greater than 18, it will give you are allowed. Okay, I'm just going to add another if the input age is less than 45, then it will reply print you are a middle-aged person. Okay, otherwise it will return else, print enter your age properly, like that. It will ask for another input also, we can give it. Otherwise I can add else in here, print you are a child. Like this. Okay, so let me close this one. Now everything is done. Let me run it again once again. Let's check it out. And if my age is greater than 18, it will allow okay, it is saying me I'm a child because my age is 18. If I'm giving anything greater than 18, it will allow me. If I give 19, you're allowed, you're a middle-aged person. Okay, because this condition 19 is also satisfying the same condition. Okay, so if I'm giving a condition like greater than 45, okay, so let me run this now, run condition. Okay, now I'm giving 19, you're allowed, enter your age properly. If it doesn't meet this condition, it will return me this one. So if I've just mentioned equal 45, okay, now let me run this now. Okay, if this condition doesn't match, it will go this one, otherwise it will go this one. Okay, so if my condition is greater than 45, greater than or equal to 45, okay, let me check it now. I'm just giving 45, it will allow, you are allowed, and you are a middle-aged person. Can you see this? Because it is clearly mentioning I'm a middle-aged person and it is allowing me. So this is how we do perform nested ifs inside an if condition. Okay, otherwise if I give anything less than 18, it will return I'm a child. Okay, so this is how we play with nested ifs, and it's a very simple basic code that you can create with multiple conditions. And else if is also like that, where you have multiple conditions and where you have particular true or false conditions, where you meet the conditions where your code wants to meet your particular condition. That's where we use if, else if, and nested ifs. Okay, else is a condition where it doesn't meet your condition properly, the negative version. Where if condition meets the exact condition that you want, else if it doesn't meet the condition that you have mentioned. Okay, so that's the thing we have in here in if and nested if and else if, and these basic three conditions are very helpful when we develop our tools. Okay, so let's get to see what we have in the loop functions. So the next topic we have in our today's session, the final topic, is the loop functions. Loop is nothing but where you need to execute a certain set of codes or block of codes in a repetitive manner for multiple of times in a loop. Okay, so that's where we use loops. We have various sets of loops. We have while loops, simple for loops, and nested loops. Okay, and we have break and continues also in today's session. So we'll start with while loop, and let me create a file for that. And for that, here in PyCharm, go to Python file and choose while underscore loop. Okay, so I've just created a file. In this for loop, that's very simple. We need a variable to work on, right? So we will just go on with I equal to 1, and we all know that mostly people know how for loops, while loops works, and most importantly, loops works with conditions. Okay, that's why we learned conditions first, and then now we are going to learn loops. So if I is greater than 6, okay, until the condition becomes true, it will execute the loop again and again. Okay, and what we're going to do, we will just print it out the I value. Okay, we'll just print the I value. That's what we're going to do. If you want to make it more interesting one, you can go on in this way. I dot format I. Okay, so you can mention in this way, it will execute I need to add an incremental condition in here, +1 or +2 for odd numbers. I'll just add +1 in here, and I just need to increment only one digit, and I will just print it out. And once the app is done, I need to print it out. Print app is or loop is over. Okay, I just need to print it in this way. So I'll just right click it and send the loop to run. And okay, I just need to add this one, and now loop is over. Okay, maybe I think I should have missed something in the middle. Okay, maybe I should try +1. Okay, sorry for that. I just made the conditions very bad. I've mentioned I is greater than 6. I have to mention I is less than 6, and now I can run and we'll get the result. Okay, it is now incrementing. Okay, I think my incrementing condition is bad. Yes, I think I should stop this. Need to change the code, and I equaled I +1. Okay, now let's check it out. Yeah, can you see this? 1 2 3 4 5, and loop is over. So I have to mention in here just equal or symbol like this, and it will be perfect to see in our results. Now you can see I equal 1, I equal 2, I equal 3, I equal 4, I equal 5, and 5 is less than 6. When it goes to the next increment 6, and the condition will be wrong, and it will go to jump to this printing options, and loop is over. So this is how we work with while loop. And next loop we have in here is for loop. Okay, let me create a new file for loop so that we can easily understand each and everything. And for loop. Okay, so in for loop, when you have something already in your hand, okay, so for example, how can I say, if you have something that in your hand that it should match, when you have a list of files that you need to find something from that file, at that time you can go on with this for loop. Okay, so like range of numbers or lists or tuples, when you have in these things, then that time we can go with this for loops. So I'll just use list in here, and list, I'm just giving some numbers 1, 20, 33, 45, 66, or 33 again, and 77 in this way. Okay, so 32 I can give in this way. In this way you can give any numbers in this way. Okay, and what I will do, I'm gonna assign for loop for I in range. Okay, so in this way I can go on, and I just can mention this I in here, and let me run this once again, and you can see for each index value it will clearly mention in this way. For explaining index 0, I just need to add in here, and I can add one more format in this one. I can add I, and that will work very fine. So I can add in this way I comma, and then I need to mention another index equal in this way. Okay, so now it will work very fine. Can you check it out? And you can see index 0 holds the value of 1, index 1 holds the value of 33, index 2 holds the value of 55. So this is how our for loops works when you have a list in your hands, or tuples, or that you have something you have in your hand already. Okay, for something that you have, that's where you use for loop. Okay, so that's very simple. And the next topic we have in here is nested loops. So for that I'll be creating a new file in here, and I'll be typing the name as nested loop. And nested loop is like, we have this loop inside a loop. Okay, so how I'm going to make a loop inside a loop, I'll just simply make I equal to 0 first, and then I'll start with while. We all know while condition, while comes with condition. So if I is less than 5, then it will go on to print and the I value. Okay, so I value, I'll just print it I in here without any professional method to show off. I'll just skip it in here, and I equaled I plus 1. I just want to increment it, right? And I can add another while loop inside a loop. Okay, for that I need another condition, right? So j equaled 0. So I've just introduced a new variable, j equal to 0. Then I'm making while if j is less than 5. Okay, then I'll just print it out the j value in here. Okay, and I need to add one more condition for j also, j equaled j plus 1. So I'll just add it in this way, and everything is done, everything will be good. Otherwise it will print out loop is over once again. Okay, it will return in this way. Now I've just added a while loop with a condition, and I've just introduced a new variable with another while loop, and let's check it out. If my condition, until it satisfies this condition, it will go on in the loop. Let's just run this nested loop file, and you can see 0 1 2 3 4 5 to 0 1 2 3 4 5 again 1 2 3 4 4 1 by 1. So let's go on to debugger and see how it works. Okay, so if I just added in here my breaking point, and I'll just go to debugger and check it out how it works. Okay, and hold on, yes, we got this. And now go on to next step, integer 1, and it will go on to next one. There j value is 0, it is less than 5, and then it will go to print j and j plus 1. It is incremented, and j it will perform, then it will go again, then it will perform, it will go again, it will perform, it will go again, it will perform, and once the condition becomes wrong, then it switches to while loop for I. So it will go on and then it will go on again, then it will go on, it will go on. So this is how your while loop, nested while loops work. Okay, so it will automatically go on one by one value. If you need one more or two more conditions, that you can also add with this. How? If I is equal to 0, if I are equal to j, okay, so that time you can go on. Okay, so that time you can easily verify that your while loop is going on in a loop until the condition becomes true or not. Okay, so that's what we have in here with nested for loop, and we have break and continue, the next topic. So what is this break and continue? For that, let me create once again and just remove the breakpoint, and I'll create a new file, new Python file for break and continue, where we use this break and continue case. When we have the brute forcing scenarios, we use this break and continue condition. When we have two dictionary files and we are going to brute force, and when you got the right answer, you just need to break your brute forcing action there, right? That's where you want to use break condition. And where you want to continue, you use continue where you have multiple possibilities of passwords, where you have 2 or 3 passwords, where you have 2 or 3 usernames. In that scenarios, you have to go with continue option. It will just skip that one and it will go to the next step. It will just go on continue with its loop. Okay, so that's very simple. How we can do? I'll just create a list in here for that, and from that list I will just add numbers 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, then I will just go on in here for L. Okay, and for I in L. Okay, then print L. Okay, and I'll just need to add 1 second. Okay, then I'll add if your letter or I is equal to 3. Okay, then I would just want to break there. Okay, then I just want to break there, and then after it is done, print key is cracked. In this way. Okay, now let me run this one. Let's check it out if I made any mistakes or not. Okay, I think I've made some mistakes. Okay, okay, if I is equal to 3, then it should break. Okay, so okay, sorry for that, it just listed out all the files in it, and I need to go in a particular way. Once again, I just need to rephrase the code, and I can mention in this way for item in L. Okay, just I can rename this print option in here. I don't need print option in here. If I can break that, I can print out key is cracked with for that item, and I can add in this way dot format, and in here I can add this item. Okay, or for that item is equal to 3, and it will just go on it is cracked or not. Now just run break and continue, and key is cracked, that is 3. Okay, I can add in this way equal symbol, and now it just run and continue. For each item that I mentioned for instead of going on with I can mention this item variable for each items in L, and for each item it will come equal with 3. If any item is equal 3, that where it will get stopped. In the place of 3 you can add your word list when we go on with brute forcing. Okay, and if I want to continue, if I just go on in here continue, okay, what will happen? Continue, and now if the item number 3 happens in now and key is cracked, that is equal to 6. Okay, so it just returned me the last value it got in the last, and otherwise it will go on continue. And if we just go on with your debugger, you can clearly understand that it is skipping out the continue and it will just go on to the for loop. Okay, instead of printing out this, it will just go on to the for loop once again. Okay, so this is how we do play with break and continue when it comes to brute forcing dictionary files, when we develop code for that. And for nested loops, you know, a loop inside a loop, and for while normal while loop when you have a condition, and for loop when you have something in your hand for a file, checking up of files and checking up of numbers or strings or lists and tuples, that time you can go on with simple for loops. Okay, so that's it for today. In our next video, and stay tuned with us and learn with us, and don't forget to subscribe us. Thank you.